7 tips on how to break up with someone. Romance. It's a beautiful thing, no? Yes, when you're first in love, you have butterflies in your stomach, you see the world through rose-tinted glasses, and the object of your affection can do absolutely no wrong. Everything is going hunky-dory, and then it happens. You realize that you've fallen in love at the wrong time. Today, we're going to help you come to a decision when you come to this crossroad in your life. There's an obvious answer as to what to do, but first, hear us out. If you decide to go down that path, you're going to need some daily support. So why not subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell as well? If you're looking for a friend, you'll find one in your bestie. First, let's talk about falling in love at the wrong time. There is no magic potion or cure for falling in love. It happens when it happens. And while it may be the reason why life is such a wonderful adventure, it's also something that, at times, is completely inconvenient. When we fall in love, our brain is filled with a high level of dopamine, the happy hormone, which ultimately leads to all kinds of weird decision-making. But when it comes to falling in love at the wrong time, what is ultimately the best thing to do? There are many reasons why now may not be the time for you to pursue the guy or girl that you're in love with. You could both be in different stages of your life. You could be in different cities or countries. Or maybe you're in a relationship that your family or friends don't really approve of. Whichever the reason, it's safe to say that, as cliche as it is, your head tells you to stop and your heart tells you to go. The choice that you make, however, is one that is important and may impact your entire life. There are some who agree that starting a relationship when you're saturated with butterflies and stars in your eyes, regardless of circumstances, is a bold and exciting thing to do. To them, it's like living out our own personal fairy tale. These people are the dreamers, and they're beautiful. The world could always do with more dreamers. Perhaps you're going to travel the world with this person, and they're going to teach you all the things you've always wanted to know. Maybe they'll enrich your life and make you a better person. And then there are the realists. The realists are those who try their utmost best to block the emotional connection fairy tale to another human being because they know that ultimately the relationship is just that, a fairy tale. And how often do fairy tales come true? These people, no matter how hard it is, are able to somewhat control their feelings. They can let go of that person they're in love with because they know it's just not the right time. But what happens one day when you wake up and you wonder what could have been? Without condoning living with your head in the clouds, being in love is one of the most wonderful feelings on earth. And to think that love had to die in order to pursue something else is absolutely tragic. But if you're plagued with this awful dilemma, the decision is ultimately up to you. It'll be a hard decision to make, and living with that decision will be hard whichever one you choose. The bottom line is, always make the decision that makes you the happiest, because at the end of the day, that is one of the only things that matter in this crazy world. However, if you do decide to break up with that person, you should know how to handle it. And who are you going to ask for breakup advice? Your bestie, of course. Don't worry, dearest viewer, we're going to give you all the best breakup tips. Here's the first one. If you're watching this video around your significant other, put in some earphones. Jokes aside, here are the best things to do when you're looking to end a relationship. Breakup tip number 1. End it as soon as you know it can't go on. Don't put off a breakup. Don't think, well, maybe things will get better, because more often than not, they don't. And please, as soon as you know that a relationship can't go on, pull the breakup trigger. If your partner is abusive, if they aren't meeting your needs, or for any other reason, break up with them as soon as possible. Breakup tip number 2. Break up in person. Please, for the love of all that is holy, break up with your partner in person. It's just a sign of respect, to be totally honest. Psychology Today confirms this fact by saying, it's essential to be physically present to show that the relationship was important to you. We know it may be scary, but you've got to face your fears. You might be scared and feel bad, but honestly, imagine what your partner is going through. Oh, and while texting to break up these days may be getting more and more common, it's just sleazy, lazy, and frankly, a lame move. Breakup tip number 3. Break up in private. Let us preface this by, if you think your partner might get violent or abusive when you break up with them, then absolutely do it in public or somewhere where you can feel safe. Otherwise, there is nothing more awkward than breaking up in a public space. Our writing staff have all kinds of stories about seeing this stuff in public, and it's always awful. Our advice? Break up with your partner at their house. That way, they don't have to cry on the public transit ride home, and also, they're in a place they feel safe after this terrible moment in their lives. Breakup tip number 4. Prepare yourself for what you're going to say. If you're nervous, which is probably how you feel, then make sure you know what you're going to say before you meet up with your partner. You can write it down, practice in front of a mirror, or ask a trusted friend to help out. As for what you should say, we're going to touch on that in a little bit, so stay tuned. Breakup tip number 5. Prepare yourself for the response. Just like you should prepare yourself for what you're going to say, you need to prepare yourself for what they're going to say. This is an awesome way of soothing your nerves because it'll prepare you for the process a little more. A great way to do this is to anticipate everything they might say in your head and prepare a response for each reaction. For example, if they do the all too common thing of trying to convince you to stay together, you can say, "I'm sorry, but this is the decision I need to make." That brings us to our next breakup tip. Breakup tip number 6, what to talk about. We had a million things we wanted to call this section: be clear, be firm, talk about your social lives, etc. We just decided to put it all in one section for your sake. So without further ado, let's go through all the things you should be doing during the actual breaking up process. Be clear. Let them know that your mind is totally made up. There is no going back. And let them know specifically why you're ending the relationship. You're not helping by beating around the bush. Be firm. Don't let them convince you to change your mind. Talk about social interaction. If you share friends, try to figure out who will hang out with who, or when, or whatever. Be honest about your feelings mostly, especially if you've lost them. It will hurt your partner, but in the end, it will help them get over the breakup a lot easier. Breakup tip number 7. Cut off contact and take some time. Psychologists agree that after a breakup, you and your partner should spend some time apart, even if you decide to be friends. Your mind needs some time to get over this person, and moving on will be much harder if you see them all the time. Offer if you'd like to reach out when you're ready, or the two of you can even set up a future time to get together. And then, just take some time. Mourn the end of the relationship. Even though you did the breaking up, you'll still need time to be sad. Surround yourself with friends, family, hobbies, your job, whatever makes you happy. You deserve that, in the very least. And so our list of breakup tips and our advice of what to do when you fall in love at the wrong time are complete. What did you learn, beautiful viewers? Have you decided to break up with your partner, and if so, are you going to use our advice? If not, did we forget any of the best breakup tips? Let us know your experience with dumping people in the comments section below. Oh, and remember, we're here for you, especially if you subscribed, because then we can be there for you every single day. Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.